Good evening. Good evening. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. We're going live early tonight. Usually for those who are guests, hello guest, welcome. If this is your first time ever being a part of our broadcast, welcome, welcome, welcome. And to those who are watching the replay, hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. Can you do me a favor and put hashtag replay in the comments so that I can know that you were here? As I was saying, we are going live early tonight. We're going live at it's 7. Yeah. And we usually go live at 8:30. But we had to switch things around tonight. But I still wanted to make sure that I got this live done. I'm still on a mission of all gas and no brakes. So I am going live as often as I can with respect to my schedule. So I hope everyone is doing good tonight. It is Wednesday, February the 26th. And last night, we talked about the lust of the eye. And I think what was so good about last night was that we did not specifically hone in on sexual lust. When we talked about the lust of the eye, like looking on someone and desiring them sexually or whatever. But we talked about other kinds of ways of lusting through the eyes that are not often mentioned, that I have found myself guilty of at times, right? And many of you may have found yourselves guilty of as well. So I encourage you to go back on that live. That live was heavy. I got some what do you want to call it? Some feedback from that live last night, and different ones like that was convicting. So I would encourage you to go back and to check out last night's live, Lust of the Eye, and just see if the Lord ministers to you about that particular live. I hope that you are helped and I hope that you are blessed. So we're going to jump right in tonight so I can make sure that I am watching my time. If you're in here, hey, for some reason, I can't always see the comments when they go up. So I don't want you to think I'm being rude. I see you. Thanks for joining. Let's dive in. So tonight, I am talking about the desire to be lusted after. I don't think that we talk about that a lot. And I mentioned this last night, that oftentimes when we think about lust, we definitely think about it from a sexual space, right? And we know that space is there. It's a real thing, right? Many people struggle with it or have experienced it, and now they are free of it, right? And some of us are right smack dab in the middle of it, in that area. But I want to hone in on the desire to be lusted after, where you do things so that people will lust after you. That means that this kind of lust can be, you want people to desire your lifestyle. You present a certain way at your church, at your job. You present a certain way here on social media because you want people to desire or to lust after what they think your lifestyle is. Another way of that is you flaunt your money, right? You make sure that people know that you are one that enjoys, or you are able to obtain top of the line things with your money, your bags, your purses, your cars, you get the top of the line makeup and lace fronts and wigs and all the things. I'm talking to my ladies here. And so you want people to lust after and want the money that you have. So you want people to wish that they were like you. This is a serious thing. And it's so subtle at times, because we are in this technology age where everything is about content. Everything is about marketing. And so you literally are marketing yourself and marketing your life. You're not just marketing your business. You're not just marketing your ministry. Even you want people to lust after your particular ministry, the way that God uses you, the way that you sing, the way that you lay hands and people fall out, you know, the way that you present as God is using you for miracles and the miraculous and healings and things. It's like you want people to lust after you. It's a real thing. It's not just wanting people to desire you sexually. So hear me. So we're going to dive in tonight. I think that this is a very critical space. I think that there is a undertone or a subliminal, it's subliminal in this area where you, if you're not careful, you don't even catch it, that you're literally selling yourself, or you're almost like a car salesman, right? And you are showing up in a certain way so someone will buy you, so someone will lust after you, so someone will want you, will want what you have, even if even the target is your influence. And so you want to have a certain type of influence, and you're always mentioning, I had 1,000 people on my live last night. You know what I'm saying? Or, 1,000 people or 10,000 people sold out and filled the seats at your event or your convention or whatever. And so people start to lust after your influence, or when you get on certain platforms with other famous people, like all of these things, if you're not careful, you will present yourself in such a way, and your motive is because you want people to lust after you, where people start having a strong, unhealthy desire to be like you, to have what you have, to be where you be. If you always present yourself as taking flights, and you're always taking trips, and you're always in these restaurants, because this is how you present yourself, and then people find themselves lusting after you, and you love it. Ooh, and you love it. And so we are going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about the dangers of wanting to be lusted after. And we're going to even see how we can give some tools tonight to help us out in this. If this area is you in any way, like, no judgment, it's a thing. I think that we all want to be wanted, right? We all want to be desired. We all want to be liked. We all want to be picked. But then there is a space, there's a line where it goes over the natural human desire or want to be accepted, you want that approval. There's a natural line that you can cross, and it goes into an unhealthy space. And so we're going to talk even from that space, where when it gets into an unhealthy space, it's lust at this point. I'm going to say it again. When it gets in an unhealthy space where sin, right, can creep in, now we're at a place of lust. And so if you're just now joining us, we are talking about, I guess we can call this a part 2. We did a part 1 last night about the lust of the eye, and now we're doing a part 2 tonight, and it's talking about the desire to be lusted after, where you want people to lust after you. And we are going beyond just sexually. Yes, that plays a part, but we are going beyond that. And so here's the deal. We do crave attention. We do want to be admired. Some of us want to be envied, though. We want people to be jealous of us. Oh my God. I can't tell you how many times that I've heard from adults. We're not talking about children now. That when you feel like someone isn't like you, or when you feel like someone is not jumping on, your bandwagon, and someone is not celebrating you as loud as a group of others are, you just automatically just assume, oh, they're jealous, they're envy of me, like that kind of thing. And sometimes we are okay with people being jealous of us. It fuels something in us. It fulfills a lust in us, and that lust for people to envy us It is there. You have to be so careful, especially when God starts to put you on different platforms, in different rooms, and before different audiences that you may have not been used to heretofore. You have got to tame this lust. You have got to discipline yourself. You have got to monitor what's going on in your body and how your body feels when people are like, oh my God, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. You know, even the lust for someone, you want someone to lust after the kind of marriage you have. All right. So let's jump into it. And we're going to talk about how this desire opens doors. Okay. So the first thing I want to say here is I want us to remember that the lust of the eye, of course, isn't about what you see, but also it's about what you see, right? But it's also about what we desire others to see in us. Sometimes lust can be about what you desire someone else to see in you. What you want someone else to see in you. Not just what you lust after in your own eyes, right? But what you want somebody to lust after concerning you. Hey, Lady Nikki, you got to be careful. And okay, I don't want to go too fast. Let me go in order. So if you're an admin, you can put it on the screen. We're gonna I'm gonna throw out some scriptures here. Galatians 1:10, and it says, For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. If you are trying to please man, you are a servant of man. If you are trying to please man, you are a servant of man. If you find yourself trying to please the Lord and that's your top priority, then you are a servant of Christ. So here's the deal. You can't serve two masters, even in this area right here that we're talking about. You cannot serve God and serve man. You can't. It's no way to do it. If you're going to serve man, you're not serving God. And you're also serving the enemy. But you cannot serve both. You can't have two masters. And wanting to be lusted after, whether for your looks, your lifestyle, money, influence, all of those things, is a trap that leads to pride, idolatry, and spiritual destruction. It leads to destruction. So let's talk about really quickly ways that people desire to be lusted after. We're going to talk about some obvious ways, and then we're going to introduce some ways that maybe we have not thought of, okay? Okay. So, of course, we got the sexual attention. Got that covered, right? Dressing provocative because you want somebody to see your curves. All right? And I'm laughing because I used to be there. I used to be a woman years ago, though, thank God for deliverance. But I used to be a woman where I took all of my pictures to the side. My side view, all my pictures out to the side, out of order, wanting someone to desire the figure that I have. Oh my stars. Thank you, God, for deliverance and freedom in that area. But taking pictures to the side, or whatever your attribute is, your physical attribute is, if it's your eyes, then you find yourself smiling all the time. You just, because you want to draw people in to that area. If you are a busty woman, if even with men going to the gym, and you're going to the gym specifically to be lusted after. You're not trying to get healthy, but you're specifically in the gym and doing certain things to your body so that someone can desire and lust after you. It's a real thing. And so we have to check our motives. Are we doing things for the glory of God? Are we doing things to get healthier? Are we doing what we're doing so we can be lusted after, right? So of course you're fishing for compliments. I used to be that way where I wanted the compliments. And so I would dress a certain way because my target was to get compliments. This is you wanting somebody to lust after you, desire you, see you, and compliment you, okay? Flirting with intent. Here's the deal. I'm flirting to get attention, but that's as far as I want to go. Nowhere in my mind am I giving it up. Am I sleeping with you? Am I even coming to your house? But just playing the game, even over the phone or even, even in person. And I'm jaw-jacking and I'm saying all the flattery things and giving you the looks, all of the things so that you can desire me, so that you can lust after me. So I'm flirtatious, engaging in conversations I ain't got no business engaging in. Engaging in conversations that just it draws in, or it prompts and it stirs desire, because you want to be desired. If this is you, just say, God, ouch, and help me get myself together. Even when you don't like the person. I don't like you. I'm not interested in you. I'm not attracted to you, but I want you to desire me. I want you to lust after me. So I'm going to still have conversations that would trigger and stir up a desire for me. Ooh, no judgment zone, y'all. It's just a real thing. It's a real thing. Of course, the social media baiting that I already mentioned before, that is very obvious. They call it what? Thirst traps. You have these thirst traps or these emotionally charged posts to get people's attention. You want to get people's attention. Even we like to put up posts that are confrontational and that are debatable, because you want everybody to swarm to your post. Here's the deal. All attention is not good attention. I'm going to say that again. All attention is not good attention. But we find ourselves, even if they're coming on the post to complain, to debate, and to disagree with me, at least all eyes are on me and are on my post. And they're lusting after whatever it is I've posted, whatever it is I've shared. We have to be so very careful. These are ways to draw people in to you for attention's sake. Oh my gosh, help us tonight, God. So let's talk about some hidden, overlooked kind of ways, some undertones, some ways we may not have thought about. I mentioned it before, wanting people to envy your lifestyle. If you think about it, when you're posting certain things and you got to have the angle just right, your makeup just right, your clothes just right, you're not going to show up on social media, beyond a certain way. Like you got this certain image that you want people to see you by, and there's no other image. This is it. You're going to see me always with the fresh wig, with the fresh makeup, like that. You're selling this dream, and you want people to envy you. You want people to want the lifestyle you have. I remember when I first started going live many, many years ago. I've been doing this thing for a minute off and on. But going live many, many years ago, and I would watch other people. We all do, right? Whether it's for inspiration, whether we're trying to learn, And I would watch other people, and I would see the glow up. Hear what I'm saying? I would see the glow up. And I would see how when they first started out going live, the target was transformation. But then when they started getting some money, or when they started getting more views, and when they started getting more influence, and when they started getting more mentions and tags, then the desire for transformation of the people with the content that they were giving, that dwindled. And it started to be more about what was in the person's house or what car that they were driving. And you could just tell it was like it used to sadden me. And I used to just pray to the Lord, and I still do even now, like, Lord, wherever you take me financially and socially, and whether there's an increase in influence, I still want to be where my focus is transformation, where my focus is, can I help? Where my focus is, am I pleasing God? It's like, y'all have seen it where people, and it's okay to glow up. Hear me. It's okay that when you can buy the finer things, that you buy the finer things. But keep Jesus, keep the main thing, or you're going to go into an area where you find pleasure in people lusting after your life, where you find pleasure in people lusting after the kind of marriage they think you have, where you find pleasure. And your dopamine is released from someone lusting after your shape, your body, your ministry. You have to be careful. Desiring influence and power over others. Even that, when you find that people are, they're worshiping you, they're idolizing you, you don't correct them, you just let the lust commence. You just let the lust commence. Oh, they love me. I can tell them anything and they'll believe it. All the things. It's a heart check. You really have to check your heart and what is happening in your heart. There was a scripture I made. See, can I find it? There's a scripture that talks about it is not what comes out of a man, right? Or what comes out of a person that defiles them. It's what's in them already. It's what's in you. What is in you, where you are led away by your own lust. This is something that's not on the outside of you. The enemy is able to get you to where you're satisfied being lusted after, because there is something in you that you have not dealt with. It is not. You've got to look at what is in you. I'm going to make sure I'm saying this scripture right too. So I'm going to find it tonight. Even if I have to wait until I get off the line, because I don't want to make y'all wait. But I want to find that particular scripture. But I mentioned too, we have to be so very careful, because you cannot be led astray by what's not in you. I'm going to say that again. If it's not in you, another scripture is coming to mind where the enemy comes and he finds nothing in you. It's what's in you that lures you. My God. And so you've got to check your lust. You've got to check this need for attention. You've got to check this desire to be envied. You've got to check it. You've got to check this desire to be a little God, where people are singing your praises all the time. You got to check your insecurity. There's some insecurity there where you don't feel worthy unless you've got a crowd, unless you've got an audience, unless someone is lusting after you in whatever way. You've got to check you on what's on the inside of you that the enemy is using against you. Hear me. Feeding off of people's jealousy and the desire for influence and power over people, wanting people to be obsessed with you. It's like even you got to be careful, especially for us who are like coaches, therapists, pastors, those who give out wisdom. Those who give out wisdom, those who counsel and things like that, where you can have people lusting after your wisdom. And you like it. You don't turn them to God. You just make sure you got an answer. You got the best answer for whatever they ask you. Even if you don't know the answer, you're so prideful that you will make up an answer instead of telling the person, I don't have an answer for that. Allowing people to lust after you and the wisdom that you carry or that you have obtained. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So let's talk about it from a psychological place, right? And I want to introduce a scripture while I'm going through this, Proverbs 16:18. We know this one, that pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. We know that, right? So I just want to mention that and put that out there. But wanting people to desire you in any kind of way, it feeds pride, it feeds insecurity instead of confidence. If you are one that you are okay with people lusting after you and after the things that you have, it definitely speaks to your insecurity, and it definitely speaks to a lack of confidence in yourself. Here's me. I want to like me before anybody else likes me, because there'll come a day when you don't like me. I want to like the way that I look before you tell me you like the way that I look, because there will come a day that you might not like my look, but I still got one in the pocket, and that's me. I like my own look. You have to make sure that you are accepting all of you, because you're never going to wake up every day and everybody likes you. So then what do when people don't want what you have? What do you do when you face being canceled? You fall apart because your life was built on the lust of others for you. Woo! What do you do? What do you do? You got to like you first. And sometimes we are more invested in what people like about us. And then if we're not careful, one of the dangers is when people start to tell you what they like about you, if you have not dealt with insecurity and a lack of confidence within yourself, and somebody says, I like that hairdo, you almost scared to try another hairdo because you got likes and compliments from a particular hairdo, and you're afraid that you may not get those same likes and comments. Let me tell you something. If at any time you don't like what I got on and what I'm doing, it's okay. You've got to deal with the insecurity and then the affirmation that you need from people and the insecurity that you're dealing with within yourself. These are open doors. These are doors that you open up when you don't deal with these insecurities. Insecurity becomes an open door. Lack of confidence becomes an open door. The spirit of pride and idolatry, that becomes an open door where you're seeking admiration. It becomes an open door. The spirit of manipulation, where you manipulate people into lusting after you. It's sometimes it's so subliminal, but if you are walking with Holy Spirit, he'll tap you and tell you that you have the wrong motives for what you're doing. You have the wrong motives for what you're saying. You have the wrong motives for what you're posting. You have the wrong motives for what you're wearing. You have the wrong motives for what you're saying. Why are you saying that? Together who? Together for people to say what? You understand? And so we have to be careful. You manipulate and you control people into coming over to see what you got going on. So you become a manipulator in order to keep getting the affirmation, in order to keep getting this lust fulfilled. It's a real thing. I don't know. I'm not a judgy person. And there's no but there. But I do, when I come across and I notice that this is a struggle for someone who is online, who's an online influencer, I pray for them, because it makes me sad, because I know what it leads to. You start lying, and you weren't a liar when you first started out. You begin to manipulate, and you weren't a manipulator when you first started out. You start to be under the control of others and what they like and what they want to see from you. There are times when I'll ask, those who are following me, I'll ask them, what do you want us to talk about? Or what are some areas that you struggle with, this, that, and whatever. But outside of that, I have to give you what I believe the Lord has put on my heart to give you. And that's going to be the end of it. And if I get the applause of God, I've gotten the best applause ever. But I had to work on my insecurities and my need to be liked by different ones in order to listen. God is my only audience, and I just want to please the Lord. But you can definitely get entangled with this whole wanting people to lust and desire after you. You begin to open yourself up to attracting the wrong spirits, the wrong kind of people. They start to be a magnet toward you. So you're a manipulator, and you start to draw in other manipulators. Now I'm going to manipulate you and tell you, I need you to keep talking about A, B, and C. Otherwise, I'm going to stop watching, and I'm going to tell my followers to stop watching you. So now you're on this hamster wheel of doing what everybody else wants you to do instead of your target being to please God. This is what the desire to be lusted after will do. Where it's like, okay, I didn't get any likes today because I didn't do such and such. So then tomorrow you go, it's like you're a puppet. Oh my God. You're a puppet to likes. You're a puppet to the hearts and the gifts and and the enemy starts to take you and toss you to and fro. Because now you're in this spawn of, I got to keep doing such and such for the views. I got to keep doing such and such for the likes. Hey, Lakina, I got to keep doing such and such for them to love me. The love of God and the love for yourself better be enough. Especially out here in this day and time, if God has called you to be before the camera, you had better love you first. Here's the deal. I love me, and everybody else that loves me is extra, and I thank God for it. I'm okay with that. I haven't always been here. I have not always been here. You've got to be careful because people are drawn. You start drawing lustful people who struggle with the lust of the eye, who struggle with the pride of life. You start drawing these people because like-minded people, like-minded. Yes, because how can two walk together except that they agree? So if I'm manipulating you into watching me, if I'm manipulating you into following me, if I'm manipulating you into desiring my lifestyle, my whatever it is that you desire of me, right? Then somewhere that thing is in you. Somewhere there's an insecurity in you. Like-minded people. Oh my goodness. It also gives identity confusion. You open the door up to identity confusion, where it's rare that you just show up as yourself. You show up as what people want. You show up and you say things that people want to hear. God hasn't told you to say it. I don't know why I'm getting sad. God hasn't told you to say it. You're really a classy woman, but you're dressing in a provocative way, and it just draws lustful men and lustful people. It's not even you. It's not you on the inside, but you have not dealt with finding your worth in yourself, finding your worth in God. And so you're finding your worth in things and in people, and you are living off of, you're feeding off of people lusting for you. It's okay to be admired. It's okay to be inspired by people or people to be inspired by you. But when it's like people see you and they want that bag because you got it. People see you and they want their hair like whatever because you got it. People see you and they want to, I want to be six figures too because so-and-so is six figures. I've heard people say, I want Oprah kind of money. I don't want Oprah. I don't even know how Oprah got her money. I don't know if she got her money, honestly. I don't know if she got her money from serving God and God alone. Why would I want that? But people are lusting after what other people have. It's just, it goes deeper. To me, I think sexual lust is like, I mean, we all know that. That's regular. But these other forms of lust that we don't talk about, but we do them day in and day out. And so I want to go to the psychological and the statistical support of what we're talking about tonight. And I know this to be true. Studies show that over 60% of women feel anxious or depressed when they don't get enough likes, comments, and online attention. They feel a certain way. I've seen women take pictures down because after an hour, ain't nobody said nothing. I done seen it. Back in the day, I wanted to take a picture down if didn't nobody say anything. It's a thing. It's a thing. Or, you go somewhere and you are looking within you. You're like, wait a minute, we've been in here 15 minutes and ain't nobody said nothing about my hair yet. Oh, I've been here 15 minutes. Ain't nobody saying about my outfit yet. It's not good. You want people to you need the praises of men. You're lusting for the praises of man. Whoo! You're lusting for the praises of man. Oh, I've been at this function for however long, and no man has come up to me yet and said I was pretty. It's like we go overboard, and our target is the praises or the validation and the admiration and even the envy of man. And so we have to be careful even in that. Materialism and mental health. Let's talk about it. Research found that people who prioritize money, prioritize status and appearance, report higher rates of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. It's like I dare not, by the grace of God, get so caught up that now I'm depressed because no one's inviting me to whatever. I'm feeling lonely because no one is inviting me to whatever. It's like, and it's a real thing though. But if you haven't dealt with rejection, if you haven't dealt with abandonment, if you have not dealt with insecurity, if you have not worked on your confidence in yourself, I'm telling you, you will be a pawn in the enemy's hand as it pertains to wanting people to lust and to desire after you. And you will do anything to get it. So her hair was blue and everybody was singing her praises. I'm going to dye my hair blue. You will find yourself doing anything, manipulating people into desiring you. Let's talk about the seduction trap. Psychologically, right? Psychology confirms that those who rely on physical or social appeal for validation often struggle with intimacy. They struggle with intimacy. They struggle with self-acceptance and a deeper emotional fulfillment. It takes so much to fulfill you. There's a lack of contentment there because lust knows no contentment. Lust knows no contentment. You're never going to get enough likes. You're never going to get enough views. You're never going to make enough money. You're never going to have enough people in your circle and in your corner. It's never going to be enough. Lust just grows. It never satisfies. So where you were okay with just a couple of people on your live and you were like, well, God, I thank you for those 3 or 4. Then you get 10. Then you like, God, can I have 20? Well, God, can I have 50? That felt really, really good. And it's like that lust is never satisfied. And so your meat needs to be to do the will of the Father. Like your focus has to be the applause of God. Your focus has to be God being the reward. I was driving home today with my daughter, and I was just telling her, these temporal things, likes are temporal, because here's the thing. If you look at our world, things go in waves. You can be up today and the person that people are talking about and singing the praises of, and then it could just be somebody else a month from now. I mean, I don't know, like your time is your time and that's what that is, but it can be somebody new in a month. It can be somebody new in a year, right? I mean, definitely make the best of when it's your time to shine. I ain't mad at that. But don't get caught up there because it'll be somebody else at another time. And so I was telling my daughter today, I was like, these temporal things don't matter. I need to be able to hear God say at the end of the day, when I stand before him, when this temporary life is over, when the temporary likes are over, I need to be able to hear God say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I just enter into the rest of the Lord. That's my target, because if your target is anything else, you will be all over the place trying to be all things. You're going to be drained. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be burnt out. You're going to be highly disappointed. You're going to find yourself angry. You're going to be depressed, and you're going to be lonely, trying to get the lust of man. It's a serious thing. I just really want to encourage us tonight to just be careful. You have to do self-acceptance first. I can't, the whole thing of wanting somebody to like something about me that I don't even like about myself yet. What? No, that's not how that works. You got to love you and know that you're enough. You have to know you, love you, and know that you are enough. And it is okay if you don't get the likes. I got a big enough like about myself that everything else is extra. Everything else is extra. I want to leave you with a takeaway tonight. The desire to be lusted after, I said it before, it's never satisfied. It only creates more insecurity, more comparison, more emptiness. You've got to be able to, you got to ask the Lord to help me in the areas where I want to be desired in an unhealthy way, where I want to be envied. I want all eyes on me. I want to be the talk of the town in a good way, right? But I want to be the talk of the town. I want when people look at me, I want them to be able to say, oh my God, I want that. You've got to ask God to help you with the praises of man, with the desire for the praises of man. You got to ask God to help you. We mentioned it yesterday about the viral David Banner craze that was going on, where even if you didn't check yourself, I looked at a lot of the comments on different platforms from women, and some of these were church women. And I mean, all in, like, oh, if my man ain't doing it like that, I don't want it. Just that lust. Oh, Jesus. We have to check that. We have to check that. That man took his glasses off, his shades off, like, look at my eye, girl, and grab hold of this lust I'm giving out right now. But the women were like, ooh, yes, ooh. And it was like, y'all, what? Like, you gotta even pause to see what's going on in your body when things like that are taking place. And as I shouldn't feel quite like that, God. Let me go before the Father and see what in me has gone unchecked. That I'm entertaining that to that degree and that measure, or that level of, or that particular situation is pricking me and stirring up something in me in this particular way. We got to check ourselves. It's out here. We're out here. This is this is technology. This is our world. This is our world. And right now, everybody wants a David. I said to myself, and no, I'm not being conceited or anything like that. I have men talk to me that way. And it's so unimpressive because they not even saved. So what they do? They not even men of God. So it's like, I mean, what can I do with that? There was a time where that would be very entertaining to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he like me. But that's not cute. It's not cute. Because in no way was he saying he was trying to marry her. But that's that lust, that desire, that lust to be desired. And as long as we are being desired, then we're okay. That's not good. Ask the Lord to help you in your places of insecurity so that you don't fall in the trap of the likes, the stares, the girl, all of the things. It's out there. All of the things, so that you're not driven away. You're not lured away into a space because you haven't dealt with your own lust, because you haven't dealt with your abandonment issues. You haven't dealt with your desires to be desired. God can help us. He's here. We don't have to suffer in this area quietly, right? Where we want to do right. Our spirit is willing, but this flesh is something else. No, you're going to have to be disciplined. I'm going to give you some tools real quick before I hop off of here. One of the things you have to do in order to break this, and we talked about this last night, so some of these things will be a repeat, but you have to check your motives and your intentions. That's Psalms 139, 23 and 24. You got to ask yourself, why do I want this attention? Oh, that's real right there. Why do I want this attention? You have got to check your motives and your intentions. Why do I want this intention, this attention? Why is it okay? And why does it make me feel good? And why does it release dopamine? And I just allow it to be so when a man talks to me a certain way and I know that it's definitely him lusting. But I like it. Say, talk to me again. You gotta deal with that. You gotta shift from seeking validation to seeking purpose. Purpose is different from validation. You have got to shift your mindset where you are seeking purpose and not validation. That's Colossians 3:23 goes along with that. Work for God's glory, not for people's applause. Do what you do as unto the Lord. Because I'm going to tell you something, that applause of man is tricky. Here today and gone tomorrow. It's tricky. It's tricky. Someone was saying to me on Messenger, they was like, oh my God, I love your hair. She was like, I'm just amazed at like how you just switch it up. I mean, you just go in and out of wigs. I like to do it. I don't think about people when I do it. I don't know if people gonna like it or not. I remember telling people for a season when they would say that they liked or didn't like something that I had on, and I would kindly say, thank you, but I did not get dressed with you in mind. I didn't even buy this wig with you in mind. I didn't buy these earrings with you in mind. And letting them know this is something I have to say out loud so I can get used to and be okay that I'm doing what I do for me. And if you like it, it's extra. I appreciate it, but it's extra. You got to be your own person and stand firm in God that you are fearfully and wonderfully made and that God is your audience. That my biggest audience is the Lord, because people don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. People really can't cancel you. Not if you are literally working for God and to bring God glory. So you have to shift from seeking validation to seeking purpose, right? You got to let God be your source of confidence. You have to. You got to let God be your source of confidence. As a worship leader, I have had to definitely deal in this particular area as a worship leader. Because you got people that are saying, man, you smashed it today. And I'll be like, but was the Lord pleased? You gotta bring it back to the Lord. You got people, you killed it. Well, I wasn't trying to kill nothing. You understand what I'm saying? You have got to, in whatever profession, whatever assignment, whatever post that God is giving you in the earth, you got to make sure that you're doing it for God and that you're getting your confidence from God. When people are like this, I didn't like the worship set y'all did today. Well, we were worshiping the Lord. It wasn't for you. All right, here we go. So let God be your source of confidence. Jeremiah 17:7. Okay. Blessed is the one whose trust is in the Lord. We got a few more. Remove triggers that feed the need for attention. Remove triggers that feed the need for attention. I'm gonna help the ladies out today. Some years ago, I felt like I wasn't sexy. We're going to talk about sexy too. So much content, so much information. But years ago, in my younger years, my teens and early 20s, I didn't feel sexy if I wasn't wearing heels. I know y'all gonna laugh at me, although I'm gonna tell y'all don't laugh at me. Y'all gonna laugh anyway. So go ahead and put your little laughy emojis up. But my confidence and my validation and all of the things was in men so much that I wore heels to King's Dominion one time. Can't nobody tell on me like me. I just thought that heels were sexy. You got to see, I knew. I already knew the emojis was coming up. I already knew. But I wore heels to King's Dominion, honey, and walked around all day in them heels. Clack, 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 clack. Oh my gosh, stupido. I did. I walked around that park in my heels, clack, clackety, clack, 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 sexy, boo, 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 whatever, because that's where my confidence was in my walk and in my curves. At the time, I developed, us women, some of us developed our curves in our, teenage, even sometimes preteen years. And so I felt like I could not be sexy or attractive, girl, if I was not wearing heels. Now, what? Please. Flats, tennis shoes, flip-flops, because it's not, for me now, it's like my confidence is not in what I have on, right? But my confidence is in me, it's in God first, yes, but my confidence is in me. It's in my ability to hold a conversation, whether I got on heels or not. It's the inward me. It's the way that God has wired me and the way that God has fashioned me that I have found my worth in, and not these exterior things that are going on. But yes, it was like you ain't gonna catch me not being in heels. But it's like, really? But that was an area of insecurity. That was an area of a lack of affirmation. I believe that it also came from me not having a father growing up. So I didn't have the "you pretty" and all of the things. I remember the first time that a little boy told me I was cute. Girl, I was like, oh, it's on now. And so I went with that for years. Ended up getting pregnant at 15. I'm telling you, you have to deal. Or you will find yourself in triangles and all kinds of things, entanglements and just all kinds of things. Sin. You'll find yourself in sin. Period. You'll find yourself in sin. And so you have to remove the triggers that feed the need for attention. So if social media is a trigger, limit your social media time on social media, and even what you're taking in. Think about what you're posting before you post it. Why are you posting that? What's the motive here, right? So limit your social media, even certain music. You have to think about all of the different triggers that feed your desire to be desired, your desire to be lusted after. There's some feeding going on. So first you got to deal with what's on the inside of you. What's going on in there? What is unaddressed that's causing you to be this way? Then you start limiting and looking at your outside triggers, right? Because your outside triggers can only be triggered by what's in you. If it's in you, then the outside, the music, the movies, the Facebook posts, all the things, it's going to lure you right on in. It's going to lure you right on in. And so you limit your certain music, social media, conversations. Honey, listen. I could talk, listen, not knowing that I was called to talk. Even when I was younger, I could talk, shoot the dirty dozens, and have all kinds of conversations and jokes and stuff that ain't even supposed to be funny when you a woman of God. When I was younger, I did it. This mouth, honey, wasn't about to put nothing, to show nothing up. Wasn't about to, I'm just talking a good game. But I did it. The flirting, the conversations. You have to limit those things that trigger you. You have to stop laughing at things that you once would laugh at in order to get someone's attention. You got to stop it. You've got to recognize your triggers and limit them. Shut them off. Discipline yourself from them. Focus on your inner beauty and character over your external admiration. I remember a time when I went through a season of not liking my curves. I did. I was a lot younger, but I went through a season of, is this all that people see? Because I was getting comments from women as well as men. Women like, girl, can I borrow your body? I'm going out tomorrow. Borrow my body? How about borrow my brain? My brain is better than my body. It became a thing of, wow, is this all that people see about me? It became a thing of, and I know that men are visual. I ain't mad at that. But it just came a point for me where it's like, is that all you see? And so for me, I struggled with having curves because I wanted the inward beautiful, even more beautiful parts of me that makes the outside even more beautiful. I wanted those things to be seen. My personality, my heart for God, my heart for people. Like, that'll outlast my curves any day. So you need to focus on your inner beauty. What's beautiful about you on the inside first? Let's get this inside of the cup first. And then we deal with the external. This is 1 Peter 3:4. And cultivate a heart that reflects Christ. Cultivate that. Because if your heart reflects Christ, a lot of this stuff going on social media, it will become offensive to you. You don't want to be sexualized. You don't want to just be seen for your money. You don't want to just be seen for your influence. You want people to like you and admire you for you and what God is doing on the inside of you. We don't go after, it's like, we don't ever say like, have you ever watched so-and-so? Girl, if you ever follow her ministry, like she's got the fruit of the spirit. Like, I mean, she takes her time with the people on her life. It is not going like that. It's going like, have you ever followed so-and-so? Girl, oh my God, I love the way she dressed. When with her ministry, you're not talking about you being transformed. You're talking about the feel-good spaces about somebody's ministry. And so we start lusting after the feel-good spaces about somebody's ministry or somebody's assignment in the earth. And we're not looking at, or we're not checking for, and we're not desiring the fruit of the Spirit in people. We're looking and going after the temporal things about people. So you've got to be careful about that. Surround yourself with people who speak truth and that you can be accountable to. Tell people that you're dealing with, I like being liked. And I'm about to go on a journey. So can you not give me any compliments for a minute? Baby, I did that. I remember asking the Lord for a while, don't let people compliment me. Even when it pertained to praise and worship and being on stages, I was like, God, for a season, just shut the mouths of the people. Don't allow people to comment and give me accolades about what it is I do and how you use me. I need it. You need to fast from the affirmation and the validation of men. You need to. You need to. So you can know where your help comes from. So you can know who your source is. It's like, God, are you proud of me? You need to know the voice of God and how he feels about you, especially for the days when man will not like you and will not like what God has told you to do or what God has told you to say. And so I think that's all I have for tonight. I do want to encourage you that you don't need to be lusted after to feel valuable. You don't need to be lusted after in order to feel valuable. You don't need for everything to be perfect. I got some on my teeth. You see that? Yeah. You don't need to be perfect. Like I just refuse. I don't want to be in the box of perfect. Because there's no such thing. No one's perfect. So I don't know. I don't want it to be where everybody gotta be quiet when my lives are on because, oh my God, If my children come in, if the phone ring, if I got something on my teeth, I'm just gonna pause and get it all. I just want to be authentically me, and whoever I'm for, that's who I'm for. But at the end of the day, God, are you pleased? Even me coming back on social media, I'm improving and growing and being intentional, and it has nothing to do with people. It has everything to do with, am I pleasing God? I want to be so solid in the Lord that whatever plans he has for me, however he desires to grow me and wherever he desires to place me, I won't be easily moved and shifted by the likes, the affirmation, and the validation of men. Because it's tricky. Here today, gone tomorrow. People like you, and then somebody tell them something about you, whether true or not, and instantly they can change up on you. Just like that. But do things unto the Lord who changes not. Do things as unto the Lord who changes not. I love you, Nikki, if you're still up here. I love you. But that's all I have for tonight. I really pray that you all are listening to these lives and you're seeking the Lord to see where you are in these topics, because you can't unhear what you've heard, and also because you're now held accountable for what you've heard. And so we should have a response. We should want to be transformed. Oh my God. We should want to be changed into the image of Christ. So that's it. I'm going to get ready for my client. I love y'all so much. And I will, tomorrow's Thursday. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Do things as unto the Lord, Nakina. I love y'all. Bye-bye.